Hey, gang. Want to do a quick one here because haven't done much in a while. And this is a little bit more of a short for folks that are looking into getting knife making, maybe dabbling a little bit, just kind of like a friendly reminder for those of you that are getting into it, as well as people that are buying from guys like us. And so this is a little bit of an insight behind the scenes of what we deal with sometimes. I freehand knives. There are people that use jigs and machines of some sorts. I freehand my knife. I do this. Sometimes I'll put a file jig on here, and I'll get to that in a second. But otherwise, I freehand, meaning I am doing this. There's no table or anything around it. Other people use a jig, and they mount it to something, and that sets the blade at a certain angle, and they just run it across on a table, holding a jig, and go back and forth. Either way, not a big deal. But if you're getting into knife making, or at least a little PSA of what some of us have to deal with, is our knife belts. The belt right here you see, and I was on Instagram showing this off a little while ago. These belts right here. Now behind you, or at least right here behind me, I have belts all across here, and I have belts over here that are used, but I don't like to get rid of them. Belts can get expensive. They're a very high cost commodity when it comes to knife making, and it's a disposable, meaning I can't, once I use a little bit of it, it's really not good for anything else. These belts can range anywhere from like $4.95, five something, all the way up to almost $8 a belt, depending on the grit and everything. And that can get pretty expensive with making knives. I also have two boxes over here that you'll see, and these boxes right here have about 600 or more belts inside them. I get my belts from Combat Abrasives. I have bought from probably 3 different companies in my 10 years of knife making. And Combat Abrasives has been the most consistent with their belt making. The reason why I mentioned that is with some of these belts, take this belt for instance, when they make a belt, this material is in a big long strip, and they cut them in parts 2 inches wide. Then they're seamed together just like that. And that's seamed together right there, as you see Combat Abrasives. This is the Shredder, and this is an 80 grit belt. They seam that together. And what I mean most consistent is sometimes that seam, if that seam is not perfectly tight and butted together, it will cause tracking issues. And what are tracking issues? Tracking issues are what we have on the knife grinder here. And I think I could turn this around for you to get that sorted out here. So as you look at this belt here, this belt and this wheel up here, it's a tracking wheel. As I turn this on, you'll see how the belt barely moves. See how it's got a little bit of a wave right there? That's called tracking. When I use this wheel over here, it will change. See there, and then I turn it the other way, and I'll do that. Now, the reason why you need such a good wheel or a good belt is because of that tracking. Sometimes companies don't butt them tight enough, and because they're in such a rush to get them out or whatever reason or however it's caused, and that belt will wiggle back and forth like that. And the reason why that's not good is our plunge lines. These plunge lines are really even right there, as you can see, but it's not always the case if you have a belt that does a lot of wobbling. So it's really important to look at what you're getting for belts and where you're getting them from. So this isn't a PSA for just buying from Combat Abrasives. I would say do your due diligence. I'm just saying, in my experience, Combat Abrasives has been the most accurate and reliable company to make belts. They're veteran supported company down in California. So again, I like them. I've been doing it. I usually buy when there's big deals, or sometimes they'll give me a discount for doing what I do. But anyhow, I thought I'd share that with you. I've been doing okay, so I do appreciate all the help and support through all of this time. I'm just feeling a little motivated today, so that's why I'm in the shop making some camp knives here. So be on the lookout. There's going to be some knives for sale on the website. There's a couple of Sentinels right now that you can buy. There'll be a camp knife on there later on down the line and some others. So again, have a good one. I do appreciate everything. Bye.